All right, then we're live. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and honor I welcome you today to the Championship Press Conference in honor of the League of Lamps 2018 season. Before we begin, let's all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, as is tradition.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, please be seated. So as we gather here today looking back on this past season, we see a tale as old as time. The haves and the have-nots. Specifically, first-round running backs. On one side, you have your teams with Gurley, Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, Elliott, all those guys. And on the other side, you have your Kareem Hunts, your Cooks, your Fournettes, and your Johnsons. So many Johnsons, or move along from that. And let's not forget my personal favorite, the guy taking number 2 in both leagues, who never got off his jet ski long enough to sign a damn contract, Mr. Wonderful himself, Le'Veon Bell. Or the Steelers fans, I know they feel the pain. And in an era where running backs are supposedly meaningless, of the teams who had the 5 top backs, 80% made the playoffs. And unfortunately for the Giants, this stat's only true in fantasy, not in reality. So if you aren't already too deep into the drinks, just remember that one for next season. So without further ado, it's time for some teas. Trophies and turds, of course. So we're going to start with Division B. We began with this year's Rookie of the Year. But it's not because of his performance, it's because he's the only Rookie of the Year. He walked in on draft day eager and excited. Yeah, he knows how to play real football, but does he know how to play fantasy football? Turns out the answer is, kind of, sort of, I guess. Yes, you aren't the worst team of the year. Jamie takes that cake, and I intended the pun. But you, my friend, learned a lesson even harder. It's life's hardest lesson. Never give up in the consolation bracket. So I now invite Mount Olive Marauders to come forward to be shamed in front of his family, and worse, Facebook. Stand right here. Stand right here. We'll be gentle. I'm going to invite Scott up, because he was last year's last place finisher. He gets to bequeath the turd.
I get to squeeze the turd out.
You get all the honors.
You have now been turded, my son.
Welcome to leave. Well, wait. Before you leave, you're new, so I'm going to refresh the rules. This hot number has to be donned at all events for the league and major family functions until next year's playoffs. And I'm tempted to say prom, but we'll figure that one out.
Shane.
Welcome to fantasy football.
Winning has no smell.
Welcome to the league. So now for the rest of our losers.
Wait, can we say Shane is blessed with a bunch of shit? I wish.
Alright, so as we move on, this year we're going to do it a little differently. When you hear your team name called, please stand and remain standing in your spot. We're going to move quick. And Chris, I'm looking at you. Did you hear that? Alright. You're up first, so you got to set the trend. In 11th, we have Clueless Cricket. In 10th, Shake and Bake. In 9th, Hub City Knights. In 8th, Walter's Super Team. 7th is Queen of Queens. 6th is Ryan's Rhinos. 9th is Dot's Demolition Crew. And 4th is Legendary Team. Alright, let's hear it for him. Now you, my friends, before you sit down, you are all members of a unique group. A group I like to call Who Cares? You didn't come in last, you didn't come in first, you don't get a turd or a trophy or cash or anything. You're like the credits at the end of a movie. No one cares. You all lost, so now you can sit down. We will recognize one of them, though, as is tradition for Division B. And just faxed in this note. You may not have placed in your league, but you were in first in the medal count. 30 medals for the 2018 to 19 season. So, will legendary team please come forward for an award? And prom. Hope you and Shane go to the same prom. Alright, moving on to our top three. In third place was a team looking for the league's first back-to-back championship. Oh, I skipped to the wrong league. He put up a fight in semifinals, but unfortunately was one more stepping stone for the champion on her victorious run. In third place and winning back his money is Butler Brewers head coach Jim Lampman. Our next team was looking to keep the trend of worst to first going for a third straight season. Kareem Hunt attempted a late season sabotage, but he managed to make the playoffs for the first time in his fantasy career. He was actually eliminated in the semifinals until a stat correction on Thursday had him beating Kyle. Unfortunately, his Cinderella story came crashing down in the championship, failing to score even half the points of his opponent. He may have finished in second place this year, but in our hearts, he'll always be the first loser. Let's hear it for Pooper Scooper, head coach Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, this leaves us with only one team remaining, our champion. No stranger to the spotlight, this is her third time being named champion, but only the second time it cleared stat corrections. She's been shortchanged before, so this time she wanted to win with an exclamation point. She scored so many points that even if you counted the points from all 6 players on Scott's bench, he still would have lost by 30 points. 204 points. It's the second highest single game score in league history. The only person to score more in a game was another Lampman lady, Aunt Dot. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the 2018 League of Lamp Division B World Champion, Melissa's team.
I know I was supposed to hop up fast, but I'm just
Wait, she cheated.
You couldn't give the pregnant lady the first row?
You don't want some on the chair? Thank you.
Rats.
Thank you very much. Well, I really have no speech at all, except you should have known from day one when I landed on my face planted during that dropped potato in the bucket. Knowing I was a couple weeks pregnant, I'm like, oh crap, I hope everything's okay in there, because I just landed, for those who weren't here, I landed flat on my face, ate a little dirt, but I wasn't giving up because I wanted a good pick. I'm sorry, Scott. It truly was a Christmas miracle. You know, I just lucked out with a couple big players this year, and that's it.
Killed it.
Sorry I don't have much of a speech, but that's about it.
Short and sweet. Oh, my sidekick here. I didn't know you came up with me. All right. How much did Aubrey help you?
Aubrey, did you help me this season? She kept saying, all right, Ma, yeah, let's root for the Rangers. So she was a big help. She just
said, go Giants. We don't like the Jets. I really like the Rangers, so that was pretty much it. But thank you. And oh yeah, I better stop winning, or as you may think I'm like the Tom Brady around here. And Mary may want to break my legs. I still have a basement, so I'm gonna back off from there.
That means you do cheat over here.
All right, so now we're going to move on to Division A.
I'll give you half the money.
In Division A, we also had a new team this season, and he actually made the playoffs. But he ended up in the nobody cares category, so we're not going to acknowledge him. As some of you may already know, this year's last place finisher was Charm City Hood Rats. And we knew he couldn't be here today, so we just decided to spring his punishment on him at another recent function. So we have the video, we're going to take a look. If you can hopefully see the TV.
There was a stain? Okay. That is so lifelike.
She had to be talking about the ball.
The award ceremony has to happen.
I just hope he wears in the delivery room. All right. Now, I'm not sure, but do some of you feel gypped? I mean, I feel kind of gypped. Yeah, we got to see the video of the lamp turd, but you get to see it in real life. Well, if you feel gypped too, fret not, because I think it's only fair that the person who drafted his team share in this shitty wealth. Over the course of his draft career, he's picked tight ends like a fat kid eating cake. More. And we've let it slide. This season, you picked the perfect team for 2013. LeSean McCoy, Jimmy Graham, Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson. What happened? After a while, you got bored, so you just picked Seahawks? Well, today, he receives the shame he deserves. Uncle Steve, please step forward to share in this punishment. Art, will you come forward to do the honors?
Anybody else next year, I'm available.
He doubles up as a pumice stone in the shower.
You can't say grace with that thing.
Man, in the subway, you can see it all the time.
Thank you all.
All right. Now, seeing as we're recognizing Division A, the real fantasy players, I will announce each team and present them with their award. No, I'm just kidding. No one cares about these losers either. And half of them aren't even here, so we're just going to power through it like the last 8 teams with Division B. In 11th is yours truly, Le'Veon Hell. 10th is Toronto's Tweakers. 9th is Lazy Leprechauns. 8th is Mr. Lampman. Come on.
Stand up.
Stand up.
I thought Chris wasn't going to follow the rules. And 7th is E Street Nation. 6th is King of Beers. 5th is Ground and Pound. And in 4th is the Benchwarmers. Congratulations, you're all failures. Sit down. Alright, so in 3rd place this year is last season's reigning champion. He entered the playoffs hot with the most points in the league, but choked in the semifinals when 5 of his 9 players failed to score double digits. But look on the bright side, at least it was just 1 game. That was Craig's season. In 3rd place is Balls of Fury, head coach Kevin Lampman. Up next is a team who decided to shed her Peyton past and start fresh. After a new name and the first pick in the draft, she found herself in the playoffs with the league's best record and #1 seed. A dominating win over her brother in the semis landed her in the championship game. The key to her success? She applied the same principles to fantasy football as she does at home. No mercy and pure domination. Can we cut to Pat right now? With the 2nd place finish this year is Girly Fries, head coach Sarah Grenier. And finally, this leaves us with this season's champion. At the start, Yahoo predicted he would go 4-9 and finish in 10th place. He flipped the script and went 9-4 in the regular season, with the 2nd most points in the league. They don't call him Tricky Dick for nothing. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I'm pretty sure he's supplying the whole league with a new Tommy Hilfiger wardrobe. Just saying, I saw a box. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the 2018 Division A League of Lamp World Champion, Game Time, head coach Rich Lampman.
Speech. Stand up, we can't see you.
Stand up.
The whole speech prepared.
Good afternoon, folks. Yes, my name is Minnie Icewiggle. So I had a lot of fun watching the fantasy football league this year. I told my dad today that he better prepare for his speech because if he didn't, it could go over like a float in Georgia. Without further ado, here is the champion, my dad, the Icewiggle, Rich Lampman. Dilly dilly.
Tyler, we had a discussion about that in the car, and I kept telling Tyler that he could not laugh during the delivery, otherwise it would not work. And I was laughing a lot over there, Tyler.
I'm calling diapers.
So, unlike the winner of the B League, we were not tracking on the Rangers, Aubrey. We were tracking on football this year. Every week, the boys were looking at what's going on with this league. From the start of the picks, thank you boys, because you made me pick Barkley, and that worked out pretty well. Then the announcer, the commissioner today's team, I don't think your Le'Veon Hell was the team name all year, was it? I had questions all season, every week. Different questions from RJ, different questions from Tyler. The one consistent question one week was, who's the owner of that team? And I couldn't filter that. And Tyler knows how to read now, so.
He got more profane as he held out longer.
A little bit. So then, coming down to the wire at the end of the season here, I don't know if it was before or after, but definitely going into the semifinals, as James mentioned, got a little bit lucky there with an underperformance by Balls of Fury. And right around that time, RJ started asking the question of me. He's like, so Dad, this could happen, right? I'm like, yeah, wow. He's like, this could happen. You might actually win fantasy. I'm like, yeah. He's like, where are you going to put the trophy? Right? He wants it on the mantle, and I'm not sure what's going on here. Either he really wants it on the mantle, or he's saying, let's put it on the mantle because he knows that Mom will say no, and the default will be his room. All right, that's all I got, guys. Thanks, James Lampmans, for running it. Hopefully I'll be here next year, not like 5 years from now, but good season all.
What day is the parade?
To be announced.
So basically you're saying your kids won the trophy.
Any questions for our champion, or is that
So Rich will be back, or his kids will be back?
Yes.
All right, well, I'd like to thank you all for participating and your continued support of the League of Lamp. I know there aren't many families that I know of that could sustain a 24-team league for 6 years. So I hope you're looking forward to next season as well.
When are they going to expand?
I don't know. We got to see if the farm system's up to snuff. But thanks again. We'll see you all next season. And we're going to raise entry fees to $200. No more questions?